especially during COVID-19, isolation looks very different amongst cultures all around the world. We've seen this in other videos that you would have seen, but there is one key platform or culture that you could say that is common amongst everyone in the world, and ultimately that is the internet. So today I'm going to outline 7 things that you should do to ensure that social media does not define who you are, but you can use social media as a tool to help really support other women who are in isolation. Firstly, it's all around the mindset. So you need to make sure that whenever you are approaching social media, you have the correct mindset that social media is not my life. I do not need it to validate myself. I do not need it to gain acceptance from people that I know and people that I do not even know or have not met in real life. I approach social media as a way or as a tool where it can be where I can support others. I'm very empathetic. I always ask myself, how will people learn from me and how can I learn from others? And this approach is a way that I really want all of you to endorse. The second thing is to build up a purposeful profile page, whether that be on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or on Twitter. There's all these different platforms. And I think a lot of people, when they're just setting up social media just for fun and they don't really have a purpose or a direction, I mean, it's okay to just copy and paste and just to say, oh, okay, I'm Angela. I like cooking, I like ISO baking, or whatever it is. But if you really want to support other women, especially during isolation, be open, being transparent, being able to really make yourself vulnerable and be there to support other women, you need to set up your profile in a way that is meaningful. For your username, a lot of people kind of use this to create their own persona. So for example, even with myself, my persona is Angela B. So Angela B is actually a name or a nickname that people have called me since I was in primary school, since I was 10 years old, but my real name is Angela Chan. You want to convey your authentic self. A lot of the time, people like to call themselves like a different name, like a developer, or they might say, they're a flower or whatever else it is. But I would really encourage you, if you really want to break those barriers and form connections that are real and with real people that has potential to be more than an online connection, is to really get to know people from a personal standpoint and just be yourself. Because if you're trying to be someone else, you're really creating a further barrier, and it's going to be harder and harder as you go along to break those barriers and actually reveal the true you. And if you ultimately go down a rabbit hole and you think, okay, this is really not me, then it's going to be harder than that. So really put yourself out there to be yourself, put an image that will attract other people that will be similar to you, and also put a description that would be welcoming and inviting. So for example, on my LinkedIn profile, I actually put as a description what I'm passionate about. And I'm passionate about women in STEM. I'm passionate about innovation. I'm passionate about sustainability. And those are the 3 key things that tie into my core values. And so if you put that up front, it's in your description, people will read your profile and they'll go, oh, who is this person? Maybe there's a chance that we are like-minded, that I would want to connect with this person. So this comes to my next point. So I want you to follow, after you set up your profile, is to follow people that you want to learn from. So especially if you are going on a new platform, a trick is at the start of each social media platform that you go on, often a lot of the time, like I just recently signed up for TikTok a little bit late, but they asked me who I wanted to follow. And I really didn't know who to follow. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just follow, Serena Williams or Emma Watson or whatever it was. But then when I thought about it afterwards, these first couple of people that you follow set up the algorithms for what you'll see in your feed. So it's really important at the start to follow people. For me, people who I aspire to be, people who are role models, people that I want to see that will kind of go, okay, if I'm a female founder, I would love to find other female founders all around the world and support them. And so by doing this at the start, you're setting yourself up for other successes. And it's also a really good thing to also follow some hashtags such as the Women in Isolation hashtag, Women in STEM, or other kind of hashtags. So then you can build up and see who else is out there, kind of get out of your comfort zone and meet other people that you may not normally meet. I really like following people who aren't part of my country or just from different kind of zones, but have the same core values and vision as me, because that way I can broaden my perspectives and learn from other people. Now, the next point, and my third point, is all around connecting with like-minded individuals. I'm really happy that I've got a great supportive network. Like personally, I really work at this. I mean, you have to be very careful here to not connect with people that you don't have an association with. When I normally connect with people, I connect with my friends first, or people that I know personally from a physical life. But then I also have a range of digital friends. And this is quite interesting because I've grown up in a more kind of digital age where I've played games, I've been a gamer, so I make all these virtual friends, or I participated in forums because I'm really obsessed with Survivor and The Amazing Race and Ninja Warrior and all those other kind of things. And so you have to be careful here because you don't know if these people are real or not. And so what I found to be super helpful, especially on LinkedIn, is to see if there are any mutual connections. Even when I have participated in hackathons or just meet people, I just like to add them, follow them on Twitter, look at their Facebook profile, do a little bit of stalking online, and it's okay to do so. And one thing that you might want to do, and because I worked in public relations, and what I used to do to other people was to just, because I used to always search everyone online and on Google, I actually searched for myself and saw what people would search and see what they would see and how they would perceive me as well. So that way I was thinking about, okay, what is my story? How do I want to be perceived online? Is that the real authentic me? Is that if someone was to meet me online, would they have the same experience as meeting me in person? So once you've connected with some like-minded people, you've got a great support network. I think a lot of people find it hard to just automatically post things online, and there is some sort of, oh, should I be doing this or should I not be doing this? I know in a lot of workplaces, they have been encouraging the use of Yammer or Microsoft kind of tools, or other social media platforms like Slack and Discord. So my fourth suggestion is to just like it. Just like Nike, just do it, just like things. If you're in specialized communities, it's quite interesting because as a community manager and a leader, I don't know if you're actually liking my work or not. So if you are in these community groups, you can like it to encourage other people. Sometimes a small like might be quite enriching for someone. It might mean something to someone's day. And this also helps to refine your feed. Your feed is kind of like food. You're supposed to be nourishing and feeding getting nourished with these food, and whatever you see, it's going to start shaping your perspective on things. So just like when you're following people, you need to like things that are meaningful to you, things that you find will encourage you and will shape your perspective. So for example, what I do, especially on Instagram, is I like to be creative. Now I'm getting into gardening, I'm getting into painting. So I'm starting to like more creatives in that space instead of kind of sports people and that kind of thing, because I want to shape my feed according to the things that I want to see. So by liking things, like a lot of people kind of just like things for the sake of it, but if you just like the things that you want to see, you will have more control of your feed. I've been on posts where people have disliked my things and it can be really heartbreaking. So I think the key thing here is to just be kind. Not only be kind to yourself, but also be kind to others, especially if people can only are not seeing people face to face, people need a lot of positive energy. So if you really want to say a bad comment, don't say any bad comments directly. That's on the public. It's a public forum. It's not to be, it's a dangerous forum. If there was something that I seriously thought that I absolutely did not like, then I would message this person personally just to give them, hey, this is a heads up, and do it in a really graceful way. Don't shut people down, because I actually met some people where it actually someone took someone's life in this scenario, and it really affects the people all around them, not just in that moment, but also for life as well. So really be careful when it comes to you talking to others, especially if you don't know them. It's always best to get context and to get background information. Now, the next thing which really relates to this is to comment to contribute to discussions. Contributing meaning adding value. So how are you adding value? How are you ensuring that these discussions are being fruitful and that you're talking about something that's fun, especially if you're an introvert like me. So doing that to contribute and add value to discussions is important. So one trick that I do is to say, in my opinion. And the words in my opinion implies that it comes from your perspective. You don't know what the other person has gone through. You don't know what their experience or background is, or why they've put a post together. And if you truly disagree with someone, say, okay, in my experience or in my opinion, say, this is what I've experienced before, and then say, I think X, Y, and Z. And so that just tones down the vibe or how you want to react to scenarios. And hopefully you can be a bit more supportive and calm in these scenarios. Sorry. So my last point, the last point, number 7, is to create posts that define who you are. So I think posts can be very different in different scenarios. Posts on LinkedIn are more thought leadership. People are learning from those experiences. Posts on Facebook tend to be more personal. Posts on Twitter tend to be more about discussions and opinions about different things. Posts on TikTok are short, sharp, educational kind of videos. And so I think, so what you need to do is not be fake, but be authentic, and don't pretend to be someone that you aren't. I know us as humans, we are creatures who just want love and affection and just want people to recognize yourselves, but be intentional with what you post and also back yourself, because not everyone is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. I remember tweeting something and there were people who were raging back at me saying, I'm not going to follow you. You are such a disgrace. But also back yourself, because everyone makes mistakes as well. And there's also the delete button. So if you really need it, you can also press the delete on posts. You can edit posts as well. So if you really want to make sure that you are owning social media, it is a global platform. It is a culturally different platform, but it is a unified culture all around the world. I want you to make sure that you are setting yourself up for success.